shaking. Did you shake Wayne's hand?
It's too late now.
You held the door open for me.
All right, yeah, have a seat.
Please introduce yourself.
So I'm Richard Lee. I'm a sophomore, and this year I'll be running for event coordinator.
Okay. So why do you think you would make a good event coordinator?
Well, actually, I kind of have a little bit of experience doing what event coordinator does.
Can you
So-
elaborate a little bit? Yeah.
Yeah, back in 8th grade, I was voted class president in a school in China, because I went to school in China. And really, back then in middle school, as a class president, you didn't do much, because then the teachers didn't want to trust middle schoolers with any kind of, real influence. So basically, the class president was just responsible for, coordinating school dances. And so I do have experience of coordinating like events and stuff. And then also I have experience of being blamed as the president usually is blamed for stupid things that other people might do. So
Is this in a club or?
yeah, this was class president in 8th grade.
So you may not know this, but our Key Club has a lot of, we do a lot of things very independently. We are responsible for almost all the coordinating that we do. How do you feel like you would fit into the role of event coordinator if there wasn't someone presumably to take some of that responsibility? You mentioned that you were responsible for coordinating school dances, but that's all you pretty much did because you didn't have a lot of other freedom because the administration didn't give you that power. How would you take the initiative as the event coordinator to sort of, and work without an advisor?
I'm not quite sure what you're asking.
Do you want me to rephrase?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay. You as a leader on the staff are responsible for taking the initiative, basically, to go and find events. Do you feel like your experience coordinating school dances and stuff like that necessarily applies?
Actually, to be honest, no, it doesn't, because this is, I believe that event coordinator and Key Club would be more of like, you have to go out there and search for like events, right? As class president in 8th grade, that doesn't really apply because I was pretty much given a set like number of dances or whatever that I had planned, and then I just carried out those events. It wasn't like searching for events to put our members into as volunteers, so no, it would not apply.
Okay.
What does your academic schedule look like next year?
Do you mean like my
What school,
classes?
what classes?
Okay, well, I plan to take 4 AP classes, AP Statistics, AP Physics, AP English, Junior, and AP US History. Plan to take Academic Decathlon, and my last class is undecided yet. I might take another AP Science, AP Bio, or I might stick with French 3, so.
Okay. And what is your extracurricular schedule going to be looking like next year? So other clubs, sports, things outside of school?
So I'm going to join tennis. That will be pretty demanding second semester. I'm attempting to charter my own club, but that's going to be a small kind of recreational club. So personally, I don't think that'll take too much time out of the schedule. I'm also going to run for a second officer position in FBLA. So depending on whether or not I get that.
What
that's
position?
pretty much public relations, PR.
And how do you plan to manage your time next year?
Well, I always set schedules regardless, so I'll see what responsibilities I'll have next year, and then I'll create like a weekly schedule for myself and adhere to that schedule. Just basic time management.
Okay.
Okay, Richard. So,
being an event coordinator is about finding events and leaving good impressions with the coordinator themselves to convince them to allow you to send your volunteers to the event. And so pretend you're leaving me a voicemail and I'm the event coordinator for an event that you want us to attend, and say presumably you're the event coordinator. Like, tell me your pitch.
Okay, so, hello, Miss Erica Payne. I'm Richard Nee of LHS Key Club, and I would like to have more information on this event that is going on. I was wondering if you would have any spots available for our LOHS High School Key Club volunteers to participate in this event as volunteers. If you could call me back or leave me any kind of message with information regarding this event, for example, how many people would you meet and what time and what place would it be, I would appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Okay. One more scenario question. So members of the Key Club have been acting pretty wild at events, not doing their job, and we've been experiencing problems. And so the event coordinator contacts you, very, very upset. And not only do you have to respond to her, but also to your members. How would you take care of that situation?
It really depends on what is going wrong. I mean, most of the time, I would stick with a general apology to the event coordinators of the event, and then as to the members who've been causing mischief or whatever, acting wild, I would personally approach them, presumably with other staff members, and sit them down and talk to them about this issue of whatever they're doing. And I would just give them a warning and hope that next time they won't do such a thing.
Okay.
Okay, so what does community service mean to you?
I think it means putting the time and effort in to give back to the community, which has given so much to us. I mean, because we rely on this community a lot, and I just think that, especially as high schoolers, as minors, because we don't pay taxes or anything, we should give back. And even after we reach 18 and everything, we still should give back to our community. And it just encourages everyone to help each other when they see volunteers out there, and then you can set a good example for future volunteers.
Okay. Is there anything else that you'd like to add that you were unable to tell us during the interview?
No.
Do you have any questions?
Actually, Erica, what is the hardest thing that you think is, what is the biggest responsibility or biggest pressure source from being an event coordinator?
I think that the biggest pressure and the biggest responsibility is being responsible for the volunteers that attend the events. Event coordinators are usually very warm and welcoming when you ask them to attend because they have high expectations. But when we fail to meet those expectations, the burden falls back on you in saying that you promised me that you would send me people who are good and are willing to work, but it's quite the opposite. And so when you get things like that, it's a lot of pressure and it's a lot of responsibility, especially if it's like the city where you need to have a good relationship with them to continue working. So the pressure is in being responsible for others. But if you learn to deal with that, you'll be good.
Also, another question. Is event coordinator responsible for pairing up Key Club members and events? Like, what I mean is, I see a little flaw in the current event, matching up events with members right now. To be frank, it's pretty much a pain to walk up every Friday morning and squeeze in with all the other people to grab a tiny little slip and sign in to an event.
How would you like to change that next year?
What would you do?
It's just not accessible enough. So I would try to make it more accessible to members.
How?
So we could have like an online sign-up sheet instead of, small sign-up sheets, because crowding is a pretty big problem as we've seen. So an online sign-up sheet would lessen the crowding. We could have an online events like calendar to help members better plan their events. Because like, I know we have dates right now and stuff, but if we could make it more visual, there'd be less events there'd be less members that would, flake out.
Yeah.
Have
There'd
you
be
been
less-
on the Key Club website?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I've seen the newsletter.
Okay, because it's been on there, the events.
Right, we've had the sign-up sheets being posted as pictures on there. I do agree, we have explored the option, and we thought about it and talked about the option of putting things online. But in the beginning of the year, like, we kind of felt like we weren't, there yet. And sometimes we agree, it gets a little bit crowded, but that's, I guess, for current situations, like, we tried spreading it out around the room. That hasn't worked so well. People want to get to certain events. So having it in one place is, I guess, not the best option, but it's the best option right now. So,
So maybe you can come up with an alternative. later
yes.
I have a question. Do you feel like because of the fact that there is crowding that you're missing out on any opportunities, like you're kind of discouraged or anything?
Actually, to be honest, yes. And I've talked to some of the other Key Club members, and to be honest, they also said yes. Because of all this crowding and how difficult it is to sign up. I mean, it might not sound difficult because all you have to do really is go up there and put your name on a paper. But the crowding and like the small slips of paper and the member limits and everything, it discourages from, enthusiastic signing up.
So what could you do next year to specifically target that problem?
Well, I mean, we could make Facebook like reservation pages for like certain events, individual events, so that we can have a clear list of who's going, who's not going.
What about those who do not have Facebook?
Well, that is a problem. We could expand the Key Club website into like more usage, because personally I don't check the Key Club website weekly or even monthly. I don't check it a lot, and I know a lot of members also don't check it a lot. If we could incorporate the Key Club website into more use next year, then it'd be more accessible for everyone.
Speaking from experience, I like your idea, but a lot of the times on websites you cannot cap. So what would you do if there was like a member overflow for a limited event?
What do you mean we cannot?
Say like the event had 10 spots and then 20 people signed up for it.
Well, it all depends on what kind of, what kind of format you use on the website. If you use, I'm sure we could come up with some kind of design for just an online sign-up sheet where there are just 10 spots and the first 10 people to, fill their names in would get the spots.
Do you think this will hinder people who do not have computer access from signing up for events?
Definitely, but I think that if we used both the, what we're already using, the paper sign-up sheets, and the online, then it would, it'd make it accessible to everyone. So the people who use computers a lot, they could sign up online, and the people who don't necessarily have access to the internet, perhaps, or computers, they could sign up on the paper sheets.
Okay, do you have any other, do you wanna,
No, I was just gonna.
Do you have any other questions?
that you'd like, yeah?
No, that's pretty much it.
Okay, so tell us.
Oh, wait, no.
Okay.
You said you lived in China? You
Yes,
speak
Oh.
Chinese?
yes.
Can you sing us a song in Chinese?
Oh.
I don't know what you're Chinese.
Oh, you
None?
said like a childhood song, like 两只老虎，你还会唱吧？
Make up a song in Chinese.
两只老虎，两只老虎yeah, I don't know what else. Yeah. 哦，好奇怪，好奇怪，一只没有
Eyes.
眼睛，一只没有耳朵， what's the last
很
one?
奇怪。
哦，真奇怪，真奇怪。
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.